Hi, this is Jim Egan, head of school, Synapse School, with a Friday video announcement as you head off to the weekend. First, I wanted to address our campus closure. A lot has been in the news, and a lot of politicians are talking about ending the school year, which I understand. Those are big decisions that government, local, state governments have to make. Certainly, that's something hard to fathom as someone who's in leadership. As a small, nimble, independent school, we have a few other things that we can take into consideration. But before we make any decisions on canceling middle school trips, for example, or canceling graduation, or even reopening our campus, there needs to be a decision-making process put in place. So what does that mean? It means that we need to gather information, right? What does that look like? It's changing every day. So it's very dynamic. And then we need to begin to assess alternative resolutions. So that relevant information is really important. What I'm going to do in the coming days and weeks is to gather together a task force. And on that task force, I will ask certain educators from Synapse to be part of that. I will look for educators outside of Synapse as well. But I also want to bring into that task force legal representation. So that's really important. I think someone who understands the scientific evidence out there, right, who can look at that data and help us make sense of it, and to bring in someone from the healthcare profession, doctors, researchers even, but someone who's really understands that world too. With that task force, we will then look at the information and we will define alternatives as we go. So I know there are some schools out there that are closing school. We are open for school. We really feel that we're delivering a really interesting and new and creative experience for kids. So school is open, but in terms of campus closure, we're going to first define the decision-making process, create that task force, and then make some decisions as we go. I'll give you more updates as these things unfold. Okay, with that in mind, I wanted to give you an update on some decisions that have been made, and that involves our 8th graders who have applied to private high schools, both on the peninsula, San Francisco, also to boarding schools. So our class did tremendously well. I'm so proud of this group. It's a large group. It's a loud group. They had acceptances to high schools on the peninsula, to schools such as Woodside Priory, the Menlo School, Mercy Burlingame, Waldorf, Harker School, Mid-Penn, and Kahila. In the city, we had multiple kids accepted into Lick Wilmerding High School, the Bay School, Waldorf School, Urban School, Sacred Heart, and Drew. And what has become a trend for us, a number of kids are now applying to boarding school. And so we had multiple acceptances to Midland, which is in Southern California, Stevenson and Santa Catalina, which are just south of Santa Cruz on the Monterey Peninsula, as well as Athenian in the East Bay. And then we had an acceptance to Exeter back east, as well as my alma mater, the Millbrook School in upstate New York. You can probably guess whose student that acceptance goes to. I'm really happy about the outcomes. It is important also to state that a number of our kids did opt, and families opted for public school. And so we have a lot of kids going to large comprehensive public schools, which are dynamic in their offerings, as well as small charter schools. So we're very happy with how students navigated this process and the results. I thought everyone should hear that. And then lastly, I gave a little teaser last time around Synapse involvement with the local and the national help in the COVID situation. Michael Peterson, a parent of a 7th grader, Skylar, and Brian Bicknell, who runs our Makerspace, are coming together to have Synapse join Maker Nexus. Maker Nexus is bringing together makers on the peninsula who have machines that can help make medical devices, face shields, that sort of thing. So we are going to use our MakerBots as well as a Flash Forge printer to make parts for those face shields and then deliver them to healthcare workers on the peninsula. I think this is just a start for us in terms of our makerspace. I'm really excited about it. I think it's a great example of creating positive change when the world really needs it. I think our kids will be excited about this too. I hope this is just the beginning of some of the things we can do with our makerspace, but also other assets within our school. Lastly, I wanted to give you a heads up that Natalie, who runs our performing arts department, emailed me today, and I think assemblies are starting next week, which is really exciting, which means pods will probably get up and running as well. So I hope things are good where you are and that everyone's staying healthy. We're managing our part too. Stay well, stay safe. See you soon.